And let's bring in Scott Reid, our CTV News political commentator. Scott, thanks as always for joining us.
Morning, Roger.
What can we expect from this national caucus meeting for the Liberals?
Well, this isn't a meeting. This is a threat. This is a sword that's been half pulled out of its sheath. It's an indication of the Prime Minister that if he chooses not to step aside, if he does not, as many people expect, announce that he will be departing the office of Prime Minister on Monday or Tuesday, then there will be a meeting on Wednesday. It will include his entire caucus, and it will almost certainly include an ultimatum for him to leave, possibly a secret ballot, giving a very discernible, very graphic expression of the lack of confidence from his own government members. I think it's an insurance policy where the MPs are saying, if you don't make the decision, we will take control of the situation for ourselves.
But what can they do if he chooses to ignore all the signs that are telling him to resign?
Well, there's no provision for the Navy to literally get rid of a captain. But if the entire crew mutinies, if the entire crew says, Captain, we will not follow you, then it's difficult to move that vessel along. I think that's the situation we're at now. I think the expectation of caucus members, certainly those I've spoken with over the holidays, is that the Prime Minister will announce his departure, probably Monday, Tuesday. But that if he doesn't, then they will tell him in no uncertain terms that he must leave. Do they have a formal mechanism to do so under the constitution of the party or under the governing rules of caucus? No. But what leader can continue on if his entire caucus, if his whole flock says, we will no longer follow?
Now, if that happens, if we do see the resignation, what kind of damage has this internal friction done for the Liberals? Can they bounce back, or is this next election a loss for them?
Well, you never say it's a foregone conclusion, but I'll say this period of 2 weeks where arguably the Prime Minister thought to himself, all right, I guess I'm probably going to have to depart, but you know what, I'll take the holidays. It's a time when people aren't talking and thinking about politics anyway. I'll just relax, take a breather, and then do it under my own terms. If that was his logic, it has still come at a consequence for the party. We've seen polling that's shown the party has continued to lose support during this period of inaction. And I think, it's therefore caused some real damage to the party's re-elections hopes. The big debate will be, how do they pick a new leader and how soon will that leader be in place? One of the new challenges, if you imagine past Justin Trudeau for the party, is, are they really going to take 45, 60, 90 days to select a leader, have that person installed in place while Justin Trudeau remains leader, prime minister, and face of the government party, and then slot this person in with, 10 minutes before a non-confidence vote, no opportunity to establish a connection with Canadians, go immediately to the polls? That does sound like a recipe for slaughter.
And there are some people who are ready to go to that slaughter by the sounds of it. Mark Carney now, we're hearing reports that he may have been making some calls.
Roger, they are all calling. Dude, the phone bills are going up, okay? And so you've got Chrystia Freeland calling around. You've got Mark Carney expressing interest, trying to put in place an organization. Lots and lots and lots of names. And, there's the big struggle is this. The real question is, will the party have a sort of normal leadership race, notwithstanding the gun that is to their head in terms of parliamentary procedure and the threat of a non-confidence vote? Will they attempt to take 3 months to put in place a new leader, leaving that person with no time? Or will they opt instead for something that's short-circuited, shortcut, and get somebody else in place earlier? That's going to be a real battle. And to some degree, it's going to pit some of the candidates against one another, because how you pick a leader determines in great part who that leader will be. It's a big fight that's been going on behind the scenes over the course of the holidays. And if the Prime Minister steps down on Monday or Tuesday, that fight will break out into the open.
All right, Scott, always appreciate your thoughts on this. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Roger.